How much information can you actually take in from somebody that is using you? That's the question I asked Google Bard, and it didn't answer my question properly. It didn't answer it at all, actually. And so I told it that it didn't answer my question, and it thought about it and it said, "You know what? You're right. I didn't answer your question correctly." So imagine if I was in a situation where I had something I needed from the artificial intelligence engine, right? And I needed it rather quickly, and I needed to depend on the answer. Well, at this stage in the evolution of artificial intelligence, you have to be very careful with the answers you get back from the artificial intelligence engine. So there is a video on YouTube titled AI Revolution. It's an episode from the TV broadcast 60 Minutes. And this particular episode is hosted by David Byrne. And David talks to senior vice presidents of artificial intelligence research at Google, and they demonstrate to him some very amazing capabilities of Google Bard. In my own use of Google Bard, I didn't see that type of functionality or that type of capability. So the way the artificial intelligence can work indoors, behind the scenes at the large tech companies is quite different than the way it can work for you personally. So I told ChatGPT about this 60 Minutes interview and about the limitations that I am observing here. And it told me that I am correct in my observations about the limitations of artificial intelligence. It's not quite there yet. And so I noticed something in its response. I sat there and I looked at it and I was like, there's something not quite right about this response. And then I recognized that its use of pronouns is very misleading, right? And so the way it's using the pronouns can give a person a sense about the tool that doesn't actually apply in reality. And so there's a term that goes by the name Anthropomorphism, right? And what it means is to try to see technology and tools as having a personality. And there was a university in England somewhere, in Britain, I believe it was the University of Edinburgh. I'm not quite sure, but they did a study that showed that the least successful programmers are the ones that think that the computer is doing something that it's not, that the computer has a personality when it doesn't. And those tend to be the least successful programmers, right? So anyway, I wasn't actually thinking about that when I was having this conversation, but then I just thought I'd wrap up the conversation with Google Bard talking about what the real expectations of artificial intelligence is in terms of how it can best benefit people, how the tool can best work in terms of language and in terms of quality. The issue is quality. And so it was very interesting, the response that I got back from Google Bard, because it acknowledges that, yes, this is a language model. It's really a computer program that's connected to an extensive repertoire of data, though not the data that we would find more productive, right? It's not connected to a database. And I've had a similar conversation with ChatGPT, which was much more illuminating. And I may publish that in a little bit. But I found very interesting this experience with the artificial intelligence in terms of what it can do and what it cannot do. So, again, I still hold that the artificial intelligence tools are very useful to humanity. They're very useful to humans, and they offer tremendous productivity in the way of streamlining the types of activities and tasks that we can do. And at the same time, if we keep an eye on what its limitations are and what its constraints are and how best to use it, then I think we'll be in far better shape. Thank you.